You're watching WCCB News Now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Nicole Madden. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, and here's what you need to know weather-wise. Well, Hurricane Beryl continues to break records. It is a Category 5 hurricane, the earliest Category 5 hurricane we have ever had on record. Now, this storm continues to make its way deeper into the Caribbean. It is now bringing some impacts here with those outer bands through parts of Puerto Rico, and it's going to be falling very close here to Jamaica in the next 24 to 48 hours. Those hurricane watches are in effect for parts of Hispaniola, and the hurricane warnings in effect for Jamaica, as that storm will be moving near the island here as a major hurricane over the next 24 hours and then continue off into the Caribbean towards the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, although it will be entering into an area where there will be some stronger shear, that will help to break down the storm just a little bit. It still remains a very dangerous hurricane as it moves over the Yucatan Peninsula later this week. From there, it's going to emerge into the Gulf of Mexico as a tropical storm, and we need to watch to see if it does make that swing up towards the U.S. coast. That means that Texas and even Louisiana could find impacts here from this storm as early as next week. Now, this storm currently has sustained winds of 165 miles per hour, gusts up to 200 miles per hour, and that pressure continues to fall, even with the latest update here that came out from the National Hurricane Center at 8 a.m. down to 934 millibars, showing that that storm is indeed strengthening. Now, locally, we are in for a nice dry and quiet day. Temperatures are even going to fall a little bit below average. 86 degrees for the ultimate high here in Charlotte. Low humidity for Salisbury with a high of 85. 85 in Hickory with a low to mid 70s across the mountains. Overnight, it'll still feel nice and comfortable. Temperatures falling back into the low to mid 60s, but as winds begin to transition out of the southeast, heat and humidity will build for your Wednesday, with temperatures getting back near 90 degrees. Now, a subtropical ridge will take over here across the southeast. That's going to lead to a steamy forecast just in time for the 4th of July, with those showers and thunderstorms picking back up late week. That's your latest overview. Rachel, over to you with the latest headlines.
Thank you, Nicole. Today marks the 30th anniversary of the U.S. Air Flight 1016. It crashed in Charlotte. The flight was on its final approach to Charlotte Douglas from Columbia, South Carolina, when it was caught in a microburst. That plane crashed half a mile from the runway. It killed 37 of the 57 people and crew on board. The crash highlighted the dangers of microbursts and led to big changes in aviation safety, including improvements in wind shear detection equipment and better pilot training to recognize and respond to severe weather. Two Catawba County parents will go before a judge for the first time today since being charged with murder. Lucas Scross and Jennifer Clay are both charged in the murder of 16-month-old Ivy Clay. The Catawba County Sheriff's Office says they found Ivy unresponsive at a home on Short Road in Newton on February 7th. An autopsy report lists the toddler's cause of death as toxic effects of fentanyl. That report also lists her manner of death as homicide. Scrontz and Clay are both being held without bond. It's a sad day for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department and the Charlotte community after an officer died by suicide. He's been identified as K-9 Officer Brent Simpson. This was the scene Monday on Steel Creek Road in southwest Charlotte. This is actually a picture of the officer. CMPD says Simpson died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He's been with the department since 2006. The scene here in this video, the tragedy just a couple months after the April attack that killed 4 officers. Police Chief Johnny Jennings is now stressing the importance of officers taking care of their mental health.
It's a very sad day for our department. It also stresses the fact of the importance that we talk about every day when it comes to the mental health of our officers, and the fact that they see and do things that normal people don't see and do, and that takes its toll.
To see Chief Jennings' full statement regarding this tragedy, go to our website. That's WCCBcharlotte.com. Ruled Monday that Donald Trump may claim immunity from criminal prosecution for some of the actions he took in the waning days of his presidency.
Jack Smith's federal case relating to 2020 election subversion. This now goes back to the district court, which has to hold a factual hearing to decide what was in the scope or out of the scope of the job. That in itself is appealable.
The decision was 6-3 along conservative liberal lines. This will likely further delay a trial on the federal election subversion charges pending against the former president. Last year, there was a shooting on the 4th of July that hurt 5 people and another shooting on New Year's Eve, both at Romare Bearden Park in Charlotte. According to CMPD Police Chief Johnny Jennings, crime is down in Uptown after 2 separate operations in the heart of the Queen City lowered it by 80% this past year. But with the 4th of July just a few days away, CMPD is being proactive, taking steps ahead of the holiday.
We're also looking at different gaps of areas where we need either more officers or maybe take some officers from different locations and put those resources elsewhere. But the ops plan is one that I'm very comfortable with. I'm excited that we're going to be able to put this in place. But at the end of the day, like I've said, there's no guarantee nothing will happen, but there is a guarantee that if something does happen, that our officers will be there.
And remember, you can get news updates anytime on WCCBCharlotte.com. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 9:15.